Oh, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here. So look at here. We are going to peruse ourselves to the area of Real Housewives of New York. Because apparently there is some concerns about the season that's been brought up. And I was pretty shocked to hear that. I thought that everything was all systems a go-go. And now I have to be in full transparency. I kind of missed the premiere this past Tuesday, but I do plan on catching back up because I just didn't realize that it had already started. So I hope that's not a sign for things to come. You know, sometimes you just miss a premiere or two. It doesn't mean that the show isn't going to be a great one and the season won't have all of the storylines and juiciness that you want. It just means that maybe there was something about the advertising of it, maybe. I don't know. But apparently, I guess there are some concerns about the need for it to truly succeed this season. And look, we all know the Real Housewives of New York has a major reboot, and they've already had their first season with the new ladies. And the show, I think, did really, really well. They also went to BravoCon, and they seem to be well received there as well. So I was a little bit surprised to see that there was any question about this current season and why there was possibly such a need for it to be successful. I don't see it going away anywhere, and I don't know, are we missing the previous cast? Because for me personally, I'm not. I was very open to this new reboot and I was good with it. So I'm curious, if you are watching Real Housewives of New York, let me know below how you feel about the show, and were you excited about the reboot, and are you still excited about the reboot? And if you caught the premiere and what you thought, you can go ahead and do spoilers, because by the time I get to it, I don't know if it will really matter if I know what's going on. I'm still going to be curious myself to watch it. So either way, though, I would love to know your thoughts down below respectfully. So make sure you leave the comments down there for me so we can have a conversation about it. So I guess with that, we are going to go ahead and get into this sharing and find out maybe a little bit more about what's going on. All right, let's dive in. So now, according to the NewYorkPost.com, and, you know, hopefully that's all, you know, legit all the way through. There's been some peculiar situations that have come about as far as stories and how valid they were, but hopefully this one is. But nevertheless, it comes from NewYorkPost.com. They said that Bravo desperately needs RHONY season 15 to succeed after the reboot. All right. So the sharing basically says the apples are falling from the Bravo tree. How cute. Now, a new season of The Real Housewives of New York City premiered this past Tuesday, and nobody wanted to be a hit more than Bravo. Now, this is the second season of RHONY since the network made the historic decision in 2022 to reboot the franchise after the lackluster season 13, which didn't even have a reunion. Now, last year, Aaron, Jenna, Sai, Jessel, Brynn, and Yuba were introduced as the new leads of the Big Apple franchise, replacing iconic OGs Ramona Singer, Luann de Lesseps, Sonia Morgan, and Dorinda Medley, among others. There was so much anticipation for RHONY season 14, and the fan response was a mixed bag. Some viewers enjoyed watching the new cast's low-stakes drama, like Sai's being hangry, Jenna refusing to fly coach, and Jessel's husband traveling to Vietnam just to eat a sandwich. Now, as far as the new RHONY goes, we were excited for the first season. Still, Russell and Shooter Magooter host the Bravo Bros podcast exclusively told the Post. We urged a lot of our listeners to give it a chance and go into it with an open mind. It's not going to be the original RHONY, so don't expect the original RHONY. Seems fair to me. Now, we thought the cast did a solid job. There is certainly room for improvement, but all in all, it was a solid first season, and I would have to agree. The group seemed very conscious of not wanting to overstep and make amends, and that was apparent at the reunion. They all wanted to make peace, said Russell and Magooter. So we are very excited to see what they can do in season 2. The cast functions very well together. It's a very likable group, and really, you know, they're friends also in real life, so that always helps. The Bravos host continued, as far as the OGs of RHONY go, they are icons and will forever be icons. But for all the people out there that refuse to watch new RHONY because it's not the real cast, we always say, if you love the old cast, then why did you stop watching? They don't need to reboot successful shows. So if you wanted the OGs, you shouldn't have stopped watching the OGs. How about giving the new guard a chance and see what they can do without comparing them to Ramona and Dorinda or Sonia and Luann? And I would agree. We're here for it, and we are very much looking forward to the second season with the new cast. I concur. Now, Mary Mahoney and Courtney Frayne, hosts of the Two Judgy Girls podcast, told the Post that after mixed reviews of RHONY season 14, they think the new cast has hit their stride off camera just in time for the new season. The scope of reality television has shifted, and at the end of the day, the viewers want to see the women show raw reactions, triumphs, the good and the bad, all without it feeling self-produced, they said. The key is to being a good reality star is vulnerability. The Bravo audience is smart. If these women show us their real lives, we will buy in. I mean, it is called reality TV after all. And while we will always be true to the original woman of RHONY, we have the ultimate girls trip. Get those ladies back to Columbia ASAP. There's always room for both new and old housewives in our books. Now, All About TRH podcast hosts Roxanne Barry and Chantel Boutros exclusively told the Post for the franchise isn't the same without the OGs. We do like the new dynamic ladies bring, but think it's important to keep the OG aspect alive and think it would be even more successful with some of the OGs in the mix, they said. Nothing was better than vintage Real Housewives. When the reboot premiered in July of 2023, executive producer Andy Cohen acknowledged the network took a massive risk in reshaping the franchise that has been on the air since 2008. This is going to the original formula, or going back to the original formula, and that it is a housewife show, and it very much feels like that, the TV host told The Hollywood Reporter at the time. We're rolling dice here, and I think we've got a team of people between Bravo, myself, and Shed Media who've been doing this for a very long time, so we do not take this lightly. A lot is riding on RHONY season 15 with closer bonds between the cast and the additions of Raquel Chevron and Rebecca Minkoff. The show seems poised for an epic return. Let's hope so, because the reaction to the season could have a direct impact on another Real Housewives franchise. Now, if RHONY 15 is a hit, Bravo may very well hit the reset button on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Now, the Garden State show, led by feuding sisters-in-laws Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga, is facing a major cast shakeup after another divided and toxic season. Cohen also already hinted that Bravo might implement its reboot strategy on RHONY. We're going to do something different, he said on his radio show in July. Maybe just all fresh faces. Maybe. We'll see. But if RHONY season 15 struggles to capture viewers' attention, Bravo might then think twice about going the reboot route with RHONY and any other struggling franchises. Luckily for hopeful fans, Cohen is very optimistic about the RHONY reboot sophomore season. The season is really dramatic, he told Entertainment Tonight in August. I think what you're going to find this season is we got a real cohesive group. I mean, this group has lived as a unit for the last several years. So I think people are going to love seeing how the dynamics have shifted within the group. Let's hope he's right. After all, nobody likes a rotten apple. Now, The Real Housewives of New York City airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings on Bravo, and they do stream on Peacock the next day. So like I said, for me personally, I am just aghast by the fact that I missed the first show in. I wish that I hadn't missed it, but it's been such a crazy week, and it wasn't on my radar like it should have been. I've been getting into Salt Lake City, but I also missed the episode for this week to view that as well. So I've got to catch up, right? But it was pretty good. It started off really well for me personally. Now, everybody already knows, if you've been here for a while, how I feel about my RHONY. I really wish that the ladies could just come together in some form and fashion and stay and not do a full reboot. I'm not really in for a full reboot myself. I mean, secondly, some people would have to switch out, but even if you start switching out cast members and bringing in new ones, I don't even know if that will hold my attention anymore either. So I guess I'll have to wait to see on that as well. But for RHONY, I am really surprised that there was even a concern about it. And I didn't know it was a mixed review on the fan base, because I thought it was doing really well. And I seem to hear a lot that it was doing really well. Now, I didn't check the ratings and all that good stuff for the rankings for it. So maybe I will get into that if I have time, just to see for myself, for, awareness, I guess, on that front. But for the most part, it seemed like it was doing okay. And they didn't have any real fears about having this next season do just as well as the first, and maybe even better, because now the ladies are used to being on TV. They're used to sharing their lives in a real way. They all have a lot of personality, and they all have a lot of built-in storylines that really could lend themselves for continued deep conversation and, an arc into the second season, or the current season that is the second season for the ladies. I do like the fact that they're friends. I like that they didn't have to really throw a bunch of people together and see if it would work out. It kind of reminds me a lot like throwing spaghetti to the wall and seeing what sticks. So, they did it right, I think, at least in my books. I would love to know your thoughts, if you're watching, how you feel about the current cast and current reboot of that cast. Are you missing the OGs, or do you think the ultimate girls trip for the OGs, like the Dorindas and Ramona and so forth and so on, is, good enough for you? Like I said, I personally like the new cast. I think it's fresh. I think it's much more connected to what I know of and feel of New York, because I'm also from New York. So I think that visually it works better for me as to what actually is the populace of people that live there. I think it's a very diverse class of individuals, and I appreciate that, instead of, a group of ladies that, although they're great, and yes, I know they're iconic, but, I'm looking for full representation when you're talking about a particular city or location. And New York City just, it just wasn't working for me personally. So at this point, I am glad to see that, we've got a fresh reboot for it. I don't necessarily think that that's needed for all of the other franchises, but I guess we will see. I don't think RHOA we're going to have that issue with, but there will be some changing faces, of course. And we'll be talking about that too, because I haven't got into the whole thing about that. And I definitely want to have a conversation about that. So it will be very much a collective kind of video from the start to the finish of where we're at and what's going on, to get us all revved up for the next season, which I'm not really sure when that's going to start airing. So, wait to see. But I'm definitely going to do that, because I had some things I wanted to share about what was going on, and my feelings and thoughts too about the cast changes and just the whole debacle that was the exit of Kenya. So that being said, I think that'll be doing it for this video. I would love to know your thoughts. So definitely leave those respectfully down below. Let's have a conversation about it. If you're watching, let me know. I would really like to know who really is watching, because right now I'm going to go ahead and commit myself to watching it. And hopefully I won't miss the next one, but I'll have to do, kind of a binging of the first episode as well. But yeah, of course, if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would love to have you here as part of the family. Yeah, I just would appreciate it. I love talking about all things, recaps and reviews, celebrity, non-celebrity, just anything over the sun that's going on, any kind of worthy news. I like to do that here, and I would love for you to be here for that. So that being said, if you have not gotten a chance to check out my videos that I've had loaded, a couple of them over the last couple of days, make sure that you check those out as well. Throw your thoughts down, and I would like to know, because we were talking about a lot of interesting topics. So yeah, that being said, definitely make sure that you have your notification bells on. I will have another video dropping later on today, so I hope that you will be here for that as well. And again, thank you for being here for this video, and I will bid you adieu. So take care and be safe. Until next time, bye.